And you're like, yeah. So I came in and then I just basically, because I needed to feel good about something.
He kicked the door open and we kissed.
Oh man, I knew it.
We made out passionately.
Classic Daniel move to get out of a situation.
What do you mean classic, Daniel? When have I ever done that?
Dude, when you got mad at me for not being able to see Cleo, you fucking kicked the door down and you kissed me, dude.
You fucking wish.
I'm bad and bougie.
I fucking hate you.
This dry streak might end, if that's what you're referring to.
This voice, and it says, I know you know I'm here. Why are you ignoring me?
Are you smelling burnt toast, sir?
I should go.
Yeah. Oh, the Chipotle.
There's no way you could speak to them dancing that hard and so passionately.
You know what? I really may regret this. I'm actually editing the episode, so I choose what's going in.
And this is all going in.
Yes, it is. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the I May Regret This podcast. As always, I'm your host, Concept, and I'm joined by my co-host. Yeah, Sid, you're making a face because you don't actually listen to the episodes, so you wouldn't get it. But like,
just you don't get this shit. Even though you literally made that bit on the episode where he was on. So I guess
did I really? That's where it started.
I think it's deeper problems than that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he just doesn't care about us. He's always asking to come on our show, which doesn't make sense. Anyways, I guess we already spoiled, and the title spoiled. That Sid is. Why is he back again?
Wait, Sid. Before you say anything, I want to properly introduce you. Here we go.
Oh.
Boom, 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 boom. His name is Sid. He is a squid. He acts like a kid. I hate my kid. His name is Sid. Whoa. What's up? Hey.
There it is.
Oh, I forgot.
I totally forgot too. And then I re-listened to the episode recently.
I forgot. We did a rap in your name. And often actually, in a lot of our episodes, this isn't a bit. We will often start ridiculing you and making fun of you because we know that you won't listen and it'll never get back to you. Welcome to the show.
You sounded like my dad when you said the I hate my kid part.
And that's why he keeps coming back for jokes like that.
Real below the belt type shit.
It's got to be a Gucci belt though.
Anyways,
Nice.
So it's really I was actually talking
Fuck
to Daniel
Gucci.
about this. I find it really interesting and awesome. Literally like a few days into me starting school, I was really depressed and hated everything about life. And we had Sid on for that episode, and it was just the opposite of the energy that I have right now. You know what I mean? And then yesterday I just wrote my last exam. That school year flew by, and you know, what do we know? We have you back again. And I just really wanted to share how awesome it feels, by the way, first of all, to be doing this and feeling completely opposite from what I was in September. I honestly have listened back to that episode a few times, and it's one of my least favorite, honestly, because I just sound sad always whenever I speak. But I just wanted to, I guess, pat myself on the back and have you guys congratulate me for finishing another year.
Cheers to that.
Cheers
to you.
Drinks
cheers
up.
to that.
Drinks up. My video's off, but I hope you guys know
And cheers
that
to Red Stripe. Listen to this. Listen to this.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Oh, my ears.
You clinked
Was that-
two
was that-
bottles together by yourself and gave
No,
everyone
I'm just with
tinnitus.
a group of my closest friends. Yo, cheers, guys.
You're on video, dude, and you're
He's
actually
on video. There's no
Oh,
one there.
and you have a
Sorry, hold on.
mirror behind
Hold
you,
on.
and we can see that you're alone in the room.
Hold on. No, they're not here yet. I was just like telling them to come in. Okay. Yo, cheers, guys. Oh, good to see you.
Whoa,
Who
you actually
turned
look
his
really
video
good
off?
in your Zoom profile picture. Can you keep your video off, dude?
Do it. Yeah.
Hey, man.
I guess I'll
Uncalled for.
I'll do that.
So, before we get started, Daniel actually brought this to my attention. We ended the last episode with a bit, what I thought was a bit, where we would bring a guest on, and every time we would ask them to.
It's never a bit. It's never a bit. And here's what it is, Sid. We need you to contribute to the definition of love.
We need you to do whatever you can, as quickly, long, whatever. Take as much time as you want or need to define what the word love means to you. We are slowly but surely putting together definitions from our collective brains and guests we have on, and will ultimately write the ultimate, I said the word twice, definition for the word love.
We'll ultimately write the ultimate definition of love.
Yes, that's the goal.
So what does love mean to you, Sid? The
It's
floor is
like-
yours.
It's like when you have sex on the first night.
Like when you
Oh.
have sex. Okay,
Yeah.
write that down.
Can you write that?
down.
No, I'm writing it. I'm writing
I got it. I got it down. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's also a choice. Love's not real.
Oh,
It's a choice. You choose to love somebody.
Okay, so it's not real.
okay. So he's kind of throwing a wrench in everything we talked
A
about
little
so
bit,
far.
yeah, a little bit.
So
yeah.
when you say it's a choice, let's say you have chosen to love someone. What does that describe the feeling? Define the feeling when you have made the choice to feel love.
I think that's like, I think on the receiving end, it's like such an honor and privilege that one person decided that you're the one and we're going to make this one work. And I think that's cool because in the traditional sense, I think people rely on finding a, oh, there was this one person for me that was meant for me. That's fucking bullshit. Are you dumb as fuck? Like, there's 8 billion people out there. That is not the case, buddy. So, I think it's like chemistry is important. Forgive me, Dan, but
sorry. Please
but
don't.
like chemistry is really cool, and I think there's like you obviously have to pick smart. You want somebody working on themselves, growing, evolving all the time. You don't want to just make it work with anybody. But I think when you decide that day where it's like, this is that person I'm going to invest in for the rest of my life, that's fucking magical that you made that choice. And it's cool because you made that choice. And it's super honorable, and that there's like a privilege on both ends,
But sex on the first date, for sure.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, he actually gave us such a well said, deep answer.
Were you writing all of that?
I wrote all of it down.
Okay.
And now I'm deleting
So
it.
read it back.
So he said that it's really cool to have sex on the first date, pretty much, and then like
Yeah,
he just
okay.
like said a bunch of other like shit after that.
Right. I actually thought that was interesting because that's the way I felt about. I think we talked about this when we had Dempsey on, like really early on,
Mhm,
where I talked about my view of quote unquote my passion in life,
mhm.
as if that's kind of a thing. And maybe it is for some people. I think for the vast majority of people, they don't like have a passion. They're just like humans, and I don't know, they're just living. It's
Yeah.
not like, oh, I was born to be this or whatever. And my whole like outlook on it for the longest time was I was just waiting for it to like fall in my lap. Like, well, what's the point of trying in this and this and this? It's not what I'm passionate about. So I'm gonna just wait till. And then I realized that that's not how you figure out what you're passionate about. You figure out by trying your hardest all the time. And that's kind of adjacent or like similar to what you're saying, is that it is a choice ultimately to like sacrifice and invest fully in someone, rather than saying, oh, I'm just gonna wait for this love feeling to like happen and then I'll know, type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I always remind myself what love feels like when I think about our relationship, you and me. Like, we'll just be hanging out, and I'll just want to take a picture of you looking good because I'm like, damn, he's so cute. But like, it's something we built, dude. This was 5 years, and you hated me for a while, and I hated you for a while, and we needed space from each other, but we took the time to understand each other, right? Like, you think deeply about how, like, you make the effort to understand me.
Mhm.
And I think that's like fucking so cool. And vice versa. Like, that shit comes with time. So when people talk about, yeah, fuck, I fell in love on day one. No, that's chemistry. It's good chemistry. And that's not wrong either. Good chemistry is cool, and then you can choose to build on that.
Yeah, that's
Right.
awesome. I totally agree. And yeah, like I think with you and I and some other people in my life, like they've been a part of how I've changed over time. And
What
I-
other people?
Jesus.
He
Yeah.
leaned in so
You're
like he put his
jealous.
drink down, the smile wiped off his face, and he leaned in so close to the camera when you said other people.
Fuck. Like flustered now. I don't remember what I was saying. I think I was saying I have ADHD, so you may have to I love that I can use that now. Yeah, what was I talking about?
I interrupted you very rudely, but you said, I think about what I have with you and other people.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. And I like you said, I kind of use certain things that I have with my family, that I have with my close friends, that I have with my fucking blood brother, and I use that as kind of like a roadmap of what I want long term with a partner, and obviously previous relationships and things like that too. I use as well, but yeah, I think that's it. Also kind of speaks to, because when we said, what does love mean to you, you immediately took the form of like a relationship, intimate love, but we also kind of touched on like family and kind of like a siblingly, brotherly type love as well, platonic love as well, which like I think they're actually more similar than you may think, because I think
Yeah.
with like say you and I, for example, we pretty much have everything except for the intimate.
I mean, like if you want to change that, like I'm
I
all
knew it.
I'm saying.
I mean,
You're red.
It's
Let's-
crazy. I can
let's,
visibly see him getting nervous.
let's take this offline. We'll edit this out. We'll edit this out. and we'll
I'm
take-
not gonna edit this out.
Canal. So fuck, what were we talking about?
It was you guys were talking. You guys were talking about getting intimate.
No.
So I do agree with your point though, Dan. I think a good way to describe it. No, it's too oversimplified. What I'm gonna say, but like sexual chemistry and intimacy, you can't have with everybody. But then the love portion on top of that, you can build. If you choose to, like I said, people have to have kind of. I feel like I get along with you, especially in this stage of my life, because I feel like we're kind of on the same journey.
Mm-hmm.
And that's important too. You have to be on similar journeys. There's a lot of things that need to line up, and then
Yeah.
you can kind of, right? So it's not an easy silver bullet answer to it, but one thing's for sure, it doesn't just happen. That's not real. It's an overtime thing.
Well, nothing's real in a way.
That's facts.
Canal.
I don't.
Thoughts?
I don't know if I have anything to say about nothing being real. Otherwise, I mean, I don't really. I feel like I talked a lot about it last week, but I did mention that. I think I mentioned it at least last week, of kind of benchmarking what it means to you based on relationships with other people. You know what I mean? Whether it's an intimate relationship or a very close friend that you have or a family type love, and kind of. Benchmarking might not be the right word, but it's kind of the first word that comes to mind of like, okay, well, how do I feel about this person, or like what's unique about the way I feel about this person? Like I know I love this person, like as a brother, or as whatever. What's different about that than like any other regular friendship that I have? And I guess kind of use that to piece together like, oh, okay, well, I guess this is what it means to me then. Because I also think, again, I think it's very subjective
Yeah.
what love might mean to one
Well-
person versus another, and you put that together based on what you feel, I guess, and what you look for in general. It not even in a physical or intimate, I should say, in an intimate aspect.
What's interesting is that this new addition to the definition, it says really making the point that it's a choice, and in which case, like the hypothetical situation you were talking about before, where it's like someone's asking you, "Are you in love?" It's actually more of a question of have you chosen, rather than, oh, like what are your feelings?
Is it
Yeah.
always? Could we say it is always a choice? I mean, what if it just?
I don't think so.
What
I
if
think
you're just kind of reflecting and it
I-
turns out you feel like you might have naturally just,
So-
without choice or without having chosen to quote unquote love someone, you feel like looking in the mirror, holy shit, this really might be the case. And I never would have seen it coming.
For the sake of argument, I'm going to say yes, it's always a choice. Because my theory is you meet somebody, say it's smooth for 2 to 3 years, like you quote unquote fall into love, there's going to be a stressor and a moment where shit's going to hit the fan, and you both choose to work through it. As soon as you do that, you've now chosen to love each other.
So I think that you, in that case, have chosen to acknowledge outright that, like, yes, I have chosen to love and work it out with this person. But I don't think,
Yes.
but what I'm saying is, you don't technically, that's you acknowledging that, okay, this is how I feel, and I'm choosing to build on these feelings and work it out. But I'm saying that you don't necessarily choose to love someone. You end up loving someone, and then you choose how to build on that love or on the recognition of those feelings with whatever you do next, and working through that stressor or not.
I think that's a good way to. I wouldn't say I'm misaligned with what you're saying. I think you're saying it in different words, but
Yeah.
that's how I feel.
Okay.
I kind of get that too. When I remember when I was with my ex, she actually said I love you first, and I didn't know what to do with that, because I was like, I don't know how to describe this. I felt like extremely intimate with her, but I didn't feel like I could say I love you because it would have felt fake. So I didn't say it back.
Mm.
And it was a bit of a weird moment, but like, I don't know. Yeah, whatever. And then like I think about a month
Takes
later,
a sip of his drink.
sheesh, it's getting hot in here. No, like I think like a month later, there was a moment where like it was getting kind of turbulent, I suppose, because she was moving away, and it was like, oh, like what are we really doing here? And I felt like kind of thrusted into it, and then I was like, I can't leave you, like I love you. And in a way it kind of was a choice, because I could have just like denied those feelings and gone with a pragmatic decision, but because I hate long-term relationships and that's not what I wanted. But like I felt thrust into it because of how intensely I felt about her, and like I was willing to sacrifice that. And it was a choice in a way, but it was also like out of my hands, so to speak. So it was kind of like a bit of both, if that makes sense.
You have to have the capacity to do it. And I don't think you did at that time, because that's why I say it's so honorable, right? Because you have to look at the resources you have that you can pull on when you decide to love somebody. And I think at that point in time, you didn't love yourself, period. And you just weren't at a point to be able to love somebody.
I mean, I was at the time, like I just felt that the long distance broke us, because it stress tested us to the point where we broke.
Would you? Sorry, go on. Actually, I'll ask after.
I guess that was mostly it.
Well,
Sorry, go ahead, Kanal.
well, just quick. This might not be correct, but it's still a lens I'd like to look at it through and kind of ask: do you think that that would be a case of loving someone, but choosing not to, like choosing to not go through that
Oh, that's
stressor and
interesting.
acknowledging it?
Well,
Like, because Sid and I were talking about the aspect of acknowledging it, choosing to love someone, and going through that stressor point together. Would you say that that's the opposite?
I like maybe, but you could also argue that circumstantially I fell out of love because of the situation. Like I think at the time when I initially did it, I was willing to make that sacrifice, but as like the reality set in months in to like what we were actually doing, it became too much, and then I basically like combusted
Right.
all at once. It was pretty crazy.
Right.
So I think I fell out of it. I don't know if I chose, like both times. I don't think I chose either time. I didn't want to enter a long distance relationship, and then I did, and then I didn't want really to end the relationship, but I like literally had to.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
it was like, holy shit, I have to do this.
right.
But don't forget attraction either. Yeah, I don't want to make this hectic, but
Oh,
You
make
know.
it hectic.
well,
Oh,
like
God.
well, like Dan, I decided to work on a relationship because I was chasing your ass as a friend when I first met you. Like, there's a lot about you that I respected, and like I wanted to be part of your life. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
There was this is what I'm fucking. It's complicated because, like, for me, yeah, I can choose to love whoever, but like it's not that simple because the other stuff has to be fulfilled. I have to respect you intellectually. We have to be able to be like, here, I got to be sexually attracted to you, which is a very important thing to me. I joke about it a lot, but I'm serious. It's like, I don't believe that anything in this world is real except for the feelings I have when I have sex, really good sex. Like the chemicals in my brain, I'm like, oh, the human experience, smoke the proverbial cigarette, and then, go on with my day. But like, man, all that shit's important. And the way I don't want to objectify a person like they are a fucking car, right? Here's a better way to put it. You can choose to be good at any craft by putting in the work, but only some crafts are gonna give you the fulfillment that you've always wanted.
What do you mean by crafts?
If I could choose to be good at soccer tomorrow, but something about basketball makes me show up every fucking morning, no matter how bad of a workout I had the day before. where I just want to get better and better and better. But I can do that for theoretically any other craft, whether it be, I don't know, writing or making music, right? And I'm not using my personal self as an example. I still try to figure out what my crafts are. But some crafts are worth my time and me choosing to dedicate my life to them. You can't just, I feel like that gets lost in the way I explain it. Yeah, you can dedicate yourself to anything, but there are needs of your own that need to be fulfilled. And some people can give you that, and they give you an idea that they can give you that. And when those don't work out with people, those are the ones that hurt. You know what I'm saying? After the effort that's been put in.
Wait, you kind of lost me. So like as far as developing a craft, I get what you mean about certain ones click with you. Like personally, there's just something that, like, I don't know, awakens in you that you really resonate with that. Well, are you saying like developing the craft in a way that's what gets you attracted to someone else? Or what was your point about the craft?
No, the point about the craft is just like my love for basketball. There's a love I'll have for this person, or an attraction to this person. That fulfillment, that the work at the end of the tunnel will give me what I need here.
Yeah.
And that you can't have with everybody.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't define that as love. I define that more when I talk about chemistry and intellectual compatibility. And you know what I'm saying? Like, there are just some things, like some people are worth just waking up one day and saying, yep, this is the person.
Huh. Yeah, I get that. I think for me, looking back, it was mostly a love language thing. Like, I only got joy and like fulfillment from a relationship from quality time and like physical touch and things like that. And I could honestly, like, I care less about gifts and acts of service and all that other stuff. I forget the other ones, but and that's all you get in a long distance relationship. You can't have quality time. You can't have physical touch. So that right away was like, I'm putting so much energy into this because I'm there for her. I'm supporting her. I'm communicating with her. We're doing this and that, but it's just not like, I'm not getting any energy back. And then I think to that point, like the demand, like the energy consumption is high. So whatever I'm getting out of this has to be really worth it. And I just didn't at the time believe in like investing in her enough that we would be happy together by getting through this, if that makes sense. Like it was like, this isn't worth it.
No, but you bring up a good point about love languages. You know, some people just get your love language right away. Some people can develop it. I think you developed it with me. So one of my biggest things is forget gifts and all that shit. I feel loved by like a you, and I feel loved by Kunal. I'm gonna give you both an example that you may not know, where I feel truly like you guys love me. It's when you know me and speak for me. And the thing is, I really have not a lot of respect for people, like most people, because they haven't taken the time to understand me. Everybody wants to put me in a fucking box. I'll get started on this whole tangent. Right? But you guys have allowed me to be every version of myself and taken the time to understand me. So for Daniel, like whether it be the Backyard Movement or Earth One or everything we're working on, I have so much faith that in my absence, Daniel will represent me so well. That's the love language. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he just took the time to understand me, all the quirks and shit. And I think that's so magical to me. Same with you, Kunal. Like, something you do that is funny, but you don't realize, like, that goes such a long way for me. Like, when you represent my interests with our gaming group, when I'm not there, and Kunal's just like, yeah, Sid's not going to play that. But when they're deciding on which video game we got to buy next, I think to me that's like so fucking cool because you guys just took the time to understand me, and I think like I didn't know how much I needed this, but I'm starting to realize it. Like I really like feeling understood.
Yeah.
All of it, all of it. The nonsense, the good parts, just all of it. I really like folks that have taken the time that are like, holy fuck, yeah, this is how he is.
Mm-hmm.
But taking the time. Think about how long our relationships have been. Both of us.
Oh yeah. Yeah. How long has ours been?
Dude.
2008. Yeah, 2008. Because I think it's like the first year when we moved here. That's fucking
solid
crazy.
13 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, that went fucking better than expected after the early answer.
It was a long talk about love.
Yeah.
Kanal, I'm gonna get you to get to your question, but I feel like it sounds good. So why don't we do that as the last one? This one may build off kind of what we were saying, because I was looking on ask r/askmen on Reddit.
Yeah.
And one of them was I kind of forget now, but something along the lines of, when did you stop going to your friends for advice, or like when you're going through some sort of like situation where you're distraught, and like at what point did you stop reaching out to your close friends for support? And I want to ask you guys, like, have you gotten to that point with a number of people? And if so, or if not, do you see a point where you will do that?
So is it like, when did I ever stop? Like, at what point did I stop going to friends for advice in general? Like a blanket question, or is it
No,
at what
specific
point
friends.
a specific person?
Like people that you would consider, that's how I interpret it. You have a
Yeah.
lot of close friends,
Yeah.
right? And earlier in our career, we would kind of ask everybody the same question. But what it seems like the Redditor is asking is, over time, he's found that pool of people he asks is a lot
shrunk.
smaller now. Like
Yeah.
a lot.
Okay, let me paint the picture a bit of more of what I'm actually interested in, because I mean, fuck this Reddit or whatever. I'm I want to be the question asker, because I wanted to say that there was a pivotal moment in our relationship, Sid, and actually in kind of just me in general, building a support system, where when I broke up with my ex for the first time, I have a tendency to just take on everything myself, and I'm really independent as a person, but I mean, part of that is that often too often I feel that I need to take on everything myself. So in the situation where like the world is fucking ending, like this is the worst I've ever felt in my life, I literally, when that happened, I left my house, and I just started walking aimlessly because I didn't know what to do. Like I just felt extremely distraught. And I was talking to Selby, who's like shout out Selby, who's like my brother.
Shout out Selby.
Shout out
Cheers.
Selby. He was like, yeah, it sounds like you weren't like doing the right thing, because you weren't like going to a support system. You're just trying to like do this yourself. And I mean, like, you're just walking aimlessly, right? And I was like, holy shit, you're right. Like I didn't go to a support system at the time. And the pivotal moment I'm talking about is where this is around a time period where Sid and I were kind of going through a weird thing where like we weren't as close as we normally would be. And
I don't think we were ever, like, for you to say normally would be, I don't think we were ever close like we're close now. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
No,
that was
definitely not.
I was changing, you were changing kind of moment.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, let me paint the picture for that even a little bit too. I wouldn't like, we're definitely closer than we've ever been, but at the time I would still get questions. Okay. This is around the time when you broke up with, and you were having a really tough time with it. And we were there like to support you. And I was having conversations with you one-on-one all the time, and there for you. And then if like, say some time period after that, you started changing quite a bit. And I interpreted that as like you being disingenuous to like who you are. I felt like it was kind of fake. And I kind of like lost, or like forgot what like our close relationship was like, if that makes sense. But I would still go to friends' houses and visit friends and whatever, and still get questions like, oh, like, where's Sid? And then I'd be like, because we were so close and like we often lived together, and I'd be like, I don't know where Sid is. Like, why the fuck would I know where Sid is? Like, I was getting all defensive because I didn't want to be linked with you anymore because you were doing stuff that like I didn't necessarily agree with, and I felt like intertwined with you. And then it took me a while to let that go and realize that like the people that are really close to me can still be individuals, and like it doesn't represent me, but I can still support them. But before I came to that realization, we had this pivotal moment where I'm still not really talking to you that much. And I'm like panicking going through this breakup thing. And I go to the like Westwood house, and I find you and Eric there. And then I'm kind of just chilling there, and I don't really say anything, but you guys can tell I'm like going through something. And then so you ask me like, hey, what's up? You look really sad. And then I say like that I just broke up with my ex at the time. And you're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, blah, blah. He came and hugged me. And then, you know, we talked for a little bit. And then like, I don't know, after an hour, I was just like, okay, I'm just going to go home. Excuse me. And then I still didn't feel right that night. And I was just still like distraught in my room, and I couldn't sleep and stuff. And then at like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. in the morning, I texted you. I was like, okay, I just need to come over to your house. Like, are you still awake? And you're like, yeah. So I came in, and then I just basically, because I needed to feel good about something.
He kicked the door open and we kissed.
Oh man, I knew it.
We made out passionately.
Classic Daniel move to get out of a situation.
What do you mean classic, Daniel? When have I ever done that?
Dude, when you got mad at me for not being able to see Cleo, you fucking kicked the door down and you kissed me, dude.
You fucking wish. I also still haven't like seen Cleo. So
yeah, anyways, your
like,
story. So
can't
like
talk
what happened?
about that.
What happened there? So
okay,
go.
so I go in and I basically confess to Sid like all of my feelings towards him, and that I think like this is how I feel about him, and that whatever. And then like once we went through that whole thing, then it allowed me to really talk about my ex and like how I felt about it, and he was like there for me. And then like from that point on, I started to kind of realize the importance of like building a support system where I would tell my really close friends like the truly deep, like disturbing things I'm going through or whatever. So my point being that I'm developing that more and more as I grow older, rather than what this Redditor was saying is that as you get older or you get to a certain point when you kind of like lose that and you just don't talk to your like close friends and you don't like confess to them anymore. So I was wondering, are you guys on that journey with me where like you're developing that more, or are you finding that you're developing it less?
I'm at the opposite point, Dan. You Kunal, my sister, are like, that's it as far as asking for advice. And it goes back to, you know, who knows me? You know, who knows me as the version crying in the shower? You know, just drunk, purposeless, but then also with all my wins, you know, and how complicated that is for me too. And how battered I think my self-relationship is with me, right? But like how I'm trying to build that. Like there's only like 2 or 3 people that know that. So for me, it's just, there's only a few people that understand my complexity. And I respect enough where they're like, you're being a fucking idiot, you know? And then I'll be like, yeah, okay, fair enough. And then I'll like really consider it. Most times, yeah. Kunal, I'm gonna go nuclear. No. No, but yeah, like I said, the situations that you're in are complex. I have found though that because I understand my complex situations best, more so than a lot of other people with, you know, aside from my select few people, I just stopped asking for advice. I just kind of do my thing. And I've benefited a lot in my life from just not listening to other people. It's strange. You're supposed to take criticism. So that's oddly enough what I will listen to. But people's quote unquote best intentions for me vary. So I try to keep that to a minimum as long as they align with me. You know, and like I said, there's only a few people in my life where I'm like, okay, they understand me. So I'm not myself right now, clearly. I kind of need them to step in and be like, this is what normally you would do. So, you know, go and get it done.
I feel like it's only hard for me to answer the question because I really I don't think I can answer with either of the options of are you developing this more or less. I kind of feel like I've been the same my entire life, which is for the most part. I don't think well, I always try to be in, the best possible situation. Whenever I feel like I'm in the shit with something, I do my best to just kind of figure it out. Whenever I truly feel like I'm backed into a corner and need to reach out to someone, I will consistently reach out to only those that I consider to be in like my close circle. So I can't say that I've recently developed the fact of going to that close circle more often when I feel like I need to, or vice versa. Maybe I don't as much as I used to. I feel like I do as much as I feel like it's needed. The only variable that might be changing there is what I consider that close circle to be, with me maybe falling out of touch with a friend or gaining a new friend into that circle. Sorry, people like to race outside of my house. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Otherwise, I can't. I think that whenever I'm truly in a situation where I feel like I'm not myself right now, and I hate it because I like being this positive, upbeat energy, and I'm not, and I'm moping around, or there's something that's really eating away at me that I know that I can't fight by myself, and I know that I can't figure out by myself, and or just generally would really benefit from just talking to someone about whatever situation I'm in. I feel like, as far as I can remember, whenever I'm backed into a corner like that, I just reach out to whoever's in that circle. I can't say that I've been doing it more or less as of recent. Again, the only thing that's really changed is who might be in that circle, who may or may not be. But I can't say that otherwise there's any difference in how that has developed or changed.
That makes sense. Do you like being the guy that's like seen as, very positive, upbeat, will always bring a sense of humor to the situation, that sort of thing?
I think I've embraced it a lot. I can definitely say, I think in high school, okay, so high school is interesting because, as always with a lot of people in high school, I guess like you're trying to quote unquote find yourself or whatever. And for someone,
I was quote unquote going through puberty, as they say.
my body was going through changes, I guess.
I got hair in like places or whatever. Anyways.
But so it was interesting. There were definitely times where I wouldn't say not be myself. I would always be myself, but I would elevate it to an extent of being that guy. You know what I mean? Of being, I guess, the quote unquote class clown sometimes, or being just that person that people go to for a laugh, even when I really didn't feel it. And sometimes, nice man. Sid was just showing me that he's pouring himself a drink. I used to like that, but there were also times where I kind of felt in high school, I kind of felt like trapped with that. Like, am I allowed to have a bad day? Like, let's say I go into school one day and I feel like shit. I would genuinely feel like I'm not allowed to do this. I can't let people see me like this because this goes against this persona that I've built. And that's definitely when I didn't like it, because then I didn't really feel like I was always being myself. I didn't really feel like I could be down. And honestly, actually, this kind of probably ties in with the question of when I started to kind of recognize that and reach out to people like Sid, or talk to my parents about it, or talk to other close friends about it, and realize that, people would not care if I was negative one day or for a week or for however long I was, and that the people would be there to constantly help me work through my shit whenever I experienced it. Kind of just open the door to like, okay, well, I guess I don't always have to be that person, you know what I mean? I don't always have to be the loudest person in the room, laughing for no reason, making jokes out of nothing, even when I'm clearly not feeling it. And I would say that I don't really do that anymore. When I am down, I'm okay with letting that show. So I don't think I to answer your question, I don't have a problem with that persona, because I love it so much. Like, I love that that's what people look at me as, because at the end of the day, I've said this before, the whole reason I like being this, or like having this personality that I have, and I like being that guy in a room, at a party, or in a classroom or whatever, is because it brings people genuine joy and laughter. And that's so fucking awesome to me, that I feel like I genuinely have the ability to turn someone's mood around when they're having a shitty day with just being me and doing whatever it is that I do. And so that's what I mean by I've embraced it, because I think that I've found a genuine beauty, I guess, in that I would originally consider to be that idiotic side of me, I feel like has now turned into just one of my best qualities, because I think it's what makes me a likable person.
Wow. That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I agree. Like, I think people do look to you to do that, and like you do bring genuine joy to people in like situations where that's needed.
Yeah.
I just find it interesting because like I totally have, especially now, realize that I never want to be that person. Like if there's someone going through something tough, I don't want to be the guy they come to for a positive spin on the situation.
Right.
I'd rather just live it with them and be like, dude, I know like things are fucked up. Like, wow, life is just fucked.
Yeah.
Like
Dude,
that's
I
just
actually
insanely tough. Like,
appreciate that so much about you. It's fucking crazy. I'll literally have the worst fucking day ever. Like I'd just be like crying into my sandwich that Daniel bought for me. And the best fucking thing about Dan is he just doesn't say anything. He just puts his arm around you and he's like, nah. I'm like, fuck, I love that.
yeah, I got nothing to say. Like, fuck, life just gets really fucking tough. And I mean, you guys know about my like thing with depression and
Yeah.
all that. I just feel like
I casually dabble in the depression.
I dabble. I'm a connoisseur of sorts. And yeah, I just feel like the slip into darkness is like familiar sometimes, and not that I would want that, but I also wouldn't want to be the guy that pretends that that's not happening. And I find that commendable. Like I'm glad there's people like you out there that like continue to like always look to see a positive spin on things.
Right. And don't get
I
me
wouldn't
not-
say
not-
that
not that I
Kunal
would
does
bother.
that all.
Right.
I want to say
yeah.
this. I want to say this. Kunal knows when.
Yeah. I
You know
was
what I'm
gonna
saying, right?
I was gonna describe how I think I do it, and I wanted to see if Sid would agree or not.
Yeah, because again, Kunal, you're another guy I'll call up and be like, dude, I'm fucking COVID positive.
yeah. So again, I think that the way I typically go now, when someone comes to me with a problem, I do not instantly go, okay, joke, like let's start laughing.
Although
I take
you did say it'd be kind of cool to die in the United States alone in your hotel room and then spit on me and laugh over the phone.
this isn't. Is that true? I don't remember.
No. I'm just kidding.
It could have been though.
It does sound like something I would say. But that's what I mean, right? So like when Sid calls me with like news like that, for example, when people talk to me about, just generally shitty things that they're having, I will definitely start by feeling out the mood and the overall, like the impact of the situation that they're going through. I'll be there to listen. I'll give them meaningful advice in my opinion. And there's a switch, you know what I mean? Once I feel like I'm starting to get through to the person a little bit, and I feel like the conversation's trending in a positive way where I'm starting to see a smile on their face. I'm starting to see them come a little more alive and start to feel better, maybe stop bearing the weight of whatever the situation is on their shoulders. That's when, if I feel like it's appropriate, I start putting a positive spin on things. And if I don't get that, then I'll just be there to literally be someone's diary and let them just spew their thoughts. You know what I mean? And just listen.
And he remembers
Nothing.
every detail.
Yeah.
No, hey, a better way to describe Kunal is he can inject energy when you most need it.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? He's just kind of this like battery. Shout out to Anchor Batteries. You better fucking sponsor us for the next work we're doing.
Let's go.
But no, Kunal's always been good at. It's why I found so much, comfort just hopping on, playing some video games with you guys. Kunal's always fucking hilarious, man. Just always, always, always injecting energy where we need it. And a lot of people notice when he can't inject that energy.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's where that comes from. We don't mean to be like, well, you can't have a bad day.
No, I know. Yeah. And I've definitely, that's what I mean when I say like I've embraced it more. I've come to terms, like, and honestly, actually, when we were doing that podcast in September when I just started school, like you guys were both like, man, you aren't you right now. Like you're not your typical self that we're used to. And again, like maybe in the past, that's how I would have, because I just wasn't really fully aware with not even myself, but just, the overall surroundings and what people might say and how I might take it. In the past, like in grade 9 or 10, I might have taken that as like, oh shit, I'm being sad in front of people. Get it together, laugh about something. But now Now it's like, yeah, no, I know I'm not, and I'm okay to talk about it when when I'm in a situation like that.
Yeah, that's cool. I remember that was a big thing for me too when I was kind of going through my thing when I first got to Toronto, was that I had all these different sides of me, and I'd originally feel that and it with like different groups of people, or when I had different moods, I'd be different around. I'd be a different version of myself, and I felt like I was being like disingenuous by doing that.
Right.
And then I had to kind of connect with like all those different masks I'm wearing, and then realize that like all those different versions of myself that I'm being are all just me.
Yeah.
And it's not like I need to hide those things. I just need to embrace when they're happening. Like, oh, I'm not quote unquote myself, but like this is a version of myself because I'm feeling this way or whatever.
Have you tried having a Snickers? Because you're not yourself when you're hungry.
Really? Is that it, dude? Kunal,
Oh man.
I want to get you to inject some energy into this podcast with your question.
Oh, fuck.
Oh,
Dude, that was good. Not what you said. The fucking Snickers thing. I'm still
Snickers?
I still haven't gotten over that one.
That Snickers thing. That was funny.
Dude, this guy Boston's.
I'm
Anyway.
wicked smart. I'm wicked
I
smart.
was gonna say that.
Alright.
Nah,
I was
said
gonna
first.
say that.
You know why?
Enough.
Because I'm wicked
Oh, can I
smart.
shout out Encore one last thing?
No, you can't. So the question I found, I really I love that I get to see his face.
Good thing about Kunal is that every time he makes that bit, you know he's actually gonna let you say it. He'll just say it and then let you say it. So say it. What
Go
do you want
ahead.
to say about it?
What about
I tear up talking about Encore. He's also been there for me he is exactly the chaos that I need in my life when I need some sort of energy. But also he really knows how to be there for me. I don't shout him out enough. He's very close to me. If you're hearing this, Encore, you stupid lover of mine.
You a stupid lover.
I love you,
Shout out
bro.
Anchor, man. We all love you.
Love you so much, bro.
Actually,
Fucking
I think
overlord to my life.
I often, like on Mondays and Tuesdays, walk by his room and hear him listening to our episodes whenever we post them. So I do think he's gonna hear
Oh
this.
man, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah. Well, do you do that too, dude? Do you
No, he
listen?
listens to them for me, actually.
No,
Really,
he actually
eh?
he listens
you?
to the ones that you're not on as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
because
I think
we
the
have
only
an
ones
agreement.
I think the only ones he hasn't listened to are the ones you've been on. Now that I think about it.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
This is a matter of my lover and myself. This is a
And
behind closed doors.
This is a
conversation.
matter of my lover. Wow.
Okay, so let's get to this question because I've
Okay.
been sitting on it and I really, really, really want to ask this. And here's why.
Let's
So-
do it.
Okay, so here's the question.
Dude, I'm drunk.
Oh, so that's what you meant.
That's
by,
what he
That's
did,
what he.
okay.
Yeah.
That's-
So
yeah.
because we just had a break and he said, "Hey, Kunal, I'll say
No,
3,
I
2, 1,
didn't.
go," and then
No,
I'll
I
go
didn't. I'm
say some
drunk.
words and I'll
I'm
interrupt you.
drunk. I'm not accountable for my actions. That's the thing.
Oh!
Reddit.
I ain't that the truth.
Okay, so I've really
How am I
wanted to
this
ask.
drunk?
This.
I'm too
You're actually not serious, are you?
Wait,
red
I
stripes
thought that-
in. I'm
wait.
actually drunk.
You just
I'm
had
You're a
that
actually-
fucking loser.
I'm actually sad.
Remember
Okay,
that
so
whole
no.
choose to love thing? I'm gonna go ahead and stop that right
Let's
now.
go.
Oh.
Yes. Okay, guys, let me ask a fucking question. I went on the front of our slapper.
Slapper?
Our slapper.
I went on the front page of r/relationship advice because we were all gonna go pull some questions, and this is the very first one that I saw. And just from the header, I picked it before really fully reading it, and I'm now seeing it's a bit of a long one. So buckle in. I'm just gonna say this. This might be wrong when I start reading, and maybe I shouldn't be laughing, but I found it hilarious because from the title, I just feel like the boyfriend in this question is Sid. So buckle in and let's enjoy this one, okay? It's about a 23-year-old girl writing about her 25-year-old boyf.
Amazing.
So the title or the subject is, we went to a party in a 14th floor apartment last night. My boyfriend jumped from one balcony to another. It scared me so bad. I honestly don't see a future with him. Okay, so here it is. I don't even know where to begin with this because I haven't slept. I'm exhausted, and every time I close my eyes, I just see what he did and see his hands missing the rails and him falling 14 stories. I feel like I need an anti-anxiety pill or something. I also need to say my boyfriend is not a dumb man. He got his MBA when he was 20 and started business and just basically blah, blah, blah. He's just really smart. We have been together for 3 years and plan on spending the rest of our lives together. I have a massive fear of heights. Even going to the party last night was hard for me. I made him promise that if I got uncomfortable, we would leave, and he agreed. I was talking with some of my wives slash girlfriends and noticed my boyfriend and his best friends on the balcony with their shirts off. So this already sounds like a Westwood party, by the way. I knew he'd had way too much to drink at that point because alcohol suddenly reminds him he has nice abs and he likes to show them off. I went as close
That
as
can be me.
I
It
went
ain't me right now, though.
I went as close as to sliding the glass door as I could handle and said he was scaring me, acting crazy, and I really wanted him to come inside. You may not even believe this part because you may not even believe this next part because I wouldn't if someone were telling me the story. He said something like, if I thought that was crazy, I should watch this. He then got up on the railing and jumped onto the balcony of the next apartment over. We were 14 stories up, and though I couldn't see it, the next balcony was about 5 to 10 feet away, and he jumped like it was nothing.
Holy
all the
shit.
guys on the balcony cheered. Oh, I don't know why she said like. All the guys on the balcony cheered, and I got weak in my knees and felt faint and just sat on the floor. He came through the regular door smiling and high-fiving everyone like an idiot. I love this guy.
If you think that's crazy, watch this.
He walks in the door smiling and high-fiving everyone like an idiot frat boy. He came up to try to hug me, and I told him to not to fucking touch me, and got up to leave the party. My friend came with me because she said I really did not look well, and we got an Uber back to my house. I was so stressed out, and I had to have the Uber pull over so I could throw up. He has texted me how sorry he is and that he really didn't mean to scare me, and he'll never do it again, but I do not know if I can get over this. I was so scared, and I just kept playing it over through my head of his hand slipping off that rail and watching him fall. He's fine. He skis, he surfs, and he goes mountain biking and climbing, all of which scare me enough as it is, but I never thought I never thought he'd be capable of doing something so stupid. So ultimately, can I forgive him for this? Is there a future with someone who would do this? What if he has kids? What if we have kids? Is taking dumb risks something he passes on to them? Would love some advice here.
I think they should break up because she's the loser and
I
is
don't-
projecting her fear of heights. And, it's just like, you don't want to be cool.
If you think that's crazy, watch,
Watch
this,
this.
guys.
Dies, yeah.
If you think that's crazy, watch this. And then he breaks up with her because she's restricting him, dude.
That's what I'm fucking saying.
Now listen.
If I'm the dude, I'm like, you know what?
I have fucking abs and I can jump over buildings. What am I doing with this girl?
High fives his best friend and
This
walks
guy's
away.
Captain America, dude.
They both
So-
jump off a building together.
On one hand, I'm trying to, look at it from her perspective and get like why she would be afraid of something like this. But on the other hand, she kind of lost me at the end where she's like, oh, it stresses me out enough that he goes like mountain biking and stuff. Like, this isn't your child, number one. Number two, when he has kids, he won't be doing this because he'll be married to you and have a child. And that's why he's doing all this now to get all these, whatever, what is it, 23? Yeah, he's 23 years old. So he's still
He's
enjoying-
25. He's 25.
No, she's. That's embarrassing. He's 25. She's 23. Regardless, I feel like you're kind of babying him a little bit here, bud.
So, listen, she's probably like, yo, I want this guy to be my husband and like the father to
The
our
father of our
kids.
kid,
And he's
yeah.
got to set up a good example. I can understand that. And I think it's cute that she gets worried and whatever. It seems
Yeah.
superficial what I'm saying, but it's like, because it is. If the guy's a bit of an adrenaline junkie, then you got to have a serious conversation.
Yeah, I agree.
I do think it is a breakup thing, not because like he's an idiot, but because like you said, it is like it was that one-off event where like that was a bit ridiculous, but yeah, the fact that he does all this other stuff and not only that, but it already bothers you. I mean, that's not going away. Like that's probably it.
Manifesting in some.
Yeah.
The fact that he does that as part of his lifestyle, it's like
Right.
it's something that like drives him in life in a weird as a part of it at least.
I don't want to fucking project what I make their 3-year relationship out to be just from this one question, but it seems like someone who, gets drunk, likes to take off their shirt, gets rowdy with the boys, goes mountain biking and does all this. This seems like a generally energetic kind of quote unquote crazy, but like really upbeat person. Like he's that guy in the group. Meanwhile, she kind of gives off the impression of someone who's a little more calculated, doesn't
Reserved.
take risks. Yeah, reserved, doesn't really enjoy seeing all that. And it just, I don't know if, and again, I don't want to just make assumptions, but again, based on this question, that's the impression I get. I don't know if that seems like it has the legs to go the distance, unless there's a major conversation and someone commits to changing a part of themselves in a major way.
So I have two notes, and I actually mean this. They're two very serious answers. Number one, this could just be really light. Honestly, it's just one of those fucking hilarious things, and
Right.
he just doesn't do it again, and they move on.
Right. Yeah.
But secondly, if it were me personally, and if you are picturing me as the boyfriend, I would not be dating a girl like that who can't match my energy.
Right. Right. Well, that's
Like
what I mean.
if she's not jumping with me, then I'm sorry, we're not
That's
dating.
what I mean. I do
But
think that
that's-
this. I
okay.
think that this could genuinely be very light, glossed over. Hey, let's not do that again. But at the end of the day, it still boils down to the fact that this is someone who just doesn't seem to be on the same wavelength as you in terms of that energy.
Okay, but like if Kadal or Dan told me, Kadal being you, told me, yo, don't do that, I'd be like, yeah, okay, I won't do that.
I don't know, dude. I don't know if you would. I'm gonna be honest with you. When you're drunk and your shirt's off, I think you're jumping, and I think I'm saying I'm here for it.
Call the ambulance just in case.
No, I will. There's no way I would let you do that. 100%.
No, it's
I would
also
not let anyone do that.
irresponsible on his part. Okay, you know what? Let me take a little bit more of a nuanced approach to this. I think I'm being a douchebag for the sake of being
Ooh.
one. At 25,
Mhm.
that's irresponsible. It's irresponsible. It just is. When you're dating someone long term. So here's the other thing, right? Every day we leave our doors, we are role models to somebody. We're leaving an impact on somebody.
Yeah.
We got to set good examples. And I think getting to a point of drunk where you're a little out of control, and you forego the thought of your responsibility to, because remember, when you die, it's easy. It's easy for us to die, but we leave our close friends and family with grief.
Yeah.
And if we willingly put ourselves in a position that's going to cause grief for people around us, it's kind of a dickhead move. You know what I mean?
Well,
Because he's going to die. At the end of the day, she's going to have to deal with it.
Well, so that's what I originally said, right? Like I was kind of with her, honestly, throughout the question. I'm not saying he should break up with you because you got mad at him jumping. Because at the end of the day, I do get why that would give her not even irrational fear. I don't know why I almost said it is rational fear. Where I started to lose her was, it scares me that it scares me enough that he mountain bikes and surfs. It's like, it's been 3 years. If at this point it still scares you, I'm thinking beyond the jump. I'm just thinking that this just doesn't seem like you guys are on the same energy in that aspect. And I feel like, Daniel, we've been kind of cutting you off quite a bit, so I want you to say what you want to say now.
No, not really. But yeah, I'd mostly agree with that. Like I read into the part where she was saying like, and he also does this, which already scares me. And then I'm just kind of reading into his character, and this is someone that like kind of feeds off that, like, whoa, this guy just like daring shit, and like that's cool. Like he likes that,
Right?
And I don't think that's going away long term. But regardless, like, I mean, I do agree with her. If I was with, it's hard to imagine I'm with, I'm in a relationship with a female that's going to jump off a building to be like a fucking beast for her boys or whatever. I don't know. Like, I find it hard to imagine, but putting myself in her shoes, like, that is insane. Like,
yeah,
I'd be extremely pissed off if someone even if that's a significant other or not, I'd be extremely pissed off. Like, that was fucking dumb. Like, that was, I'd be like, whoever that was, I'd be like seriously pissed, like yelling at them the next day.
Like if Sid jumped, you would be pissed at Sid.
Like the next day I'd be like, I'm sitting you down and like having a fucking talk with you.
So let me say this very candidly. There's a reason I don't party like I used to. I've let down a lot of people close to me doing all that nonsense. Like, yeah, they make for great stories, but I've been a fucking piece of shit. Just a massive asshole.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, on one end, she's not going to make her boyfriend look like a massive dickhead either. It's hard to do that even when you're really mad at them. And I think there's a deeper thing to this. It's just like, why are you doing this? Speaking of someone who has just this like raw energy that gets unleashed, I
Yeah.
think when I drink, I don't even know why I'm doing it. It's just, but I hate how it comes off sometimes, and I let people down around me. I really do.
I genuinely think it's just like when based on what again, I don't want to make assumptions based on this message though, like that's just how this guy gets when he's drunk. Like we laughed about the watch this comment, but it literally shows in that comment, like, oh, you think that was crazy, watch that. Like he just fucking gets seemingly into that zone when he's been drinking. And again, she said he texted and apologized, and I think that was a deserved apology. I think she deserved an apology.
I mean, I do that too the next day, but I'm not gonna name any names, but bro, if you're listening to this, I love you still. I think about this night all the time. All the time. I want you to know I think about this like literally once a day. If you're listening. I was being my fucking dickhead self, just drunk, fucking angry. Not like angry, just charged. Charged is a good way to visualize that.
You did turn green and into a huge rage smashing monster.
And Buddy's just being his wholesome ass self, getting my sister out of trouble. And he made a joke that I completely misunderstood as him hitting on my sister, making some sort of joke. Number one, I'm totally cool with that. My sister's a great person. You're a great guy. I have no issues with that. But for whatever reason, I was just not in control. And I turned into this fucking massive loser.
Yeah.
Massive loser. And I just fucking berated him, And it's just like, when I hear stories like this, I'm still finding the answer to why that is a person in me, that comes out this way. And I worry on a deeper level that this guy may show that when he drinks.
Right.
And either way, I'm really off the handle and not my rational self that normally I would imagine folks look up to. You know what I mean? It's just, I'm just not that guy, and it sucks. And nobody wants, especially when someone's been intimate with you and really close to you.
Yeah.
Like the closest people don't want to see you like that.
Right. Yeah.
So my sister told me after some of my bad nights, she was like, I don't want people to look at you the wrong way because you're so much better than that.
Yeah.
And when people get that snapshot of you when you're like that, that one fucking stuck with me for a long time. And I wonder how much of that is how she's feeling too. Mm-hmm. And the high-fiving especially, that was a part that resonated with me where I was just kind of like,
I'm sorry, I shouldn't. It's just the mental.
No, hey, it's funny.
It's fucking hilarious.
But think about my escapades. They're fucking hilarious to look back on.
Yeah.
For the most part, right?
Yeah.
Remember Bumblebee?
Oh, of course I remember.
Oh, beat his ass, man.
No, but see, this is what I'm not saying break up because you're wrong. Like the girl who's writing this is wrong. I'm saying you deserved an apology for this situation, but it might be worth considering breaking up just because of the type of people that I am getting the impression that you two are. It just doesn't seem to be the same in that regard.
Yeah.
Not that anyone's necessarily wrong, but it just might, you're seeing signs of something that might bleed into bigger issues and like character differences down the road.
Now, I don't agree with the mountain biking and stuff, but I honestly also feel like she just added that just to kind of say, hey, just so you know, he's a bit of an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah.
But I think the issue she's having is a little bit deep-rooted because of the details she chose to include in her story.
Yeah.
Like the high-fiving part, the sick to her stomach part,
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And her specifically saying like, hey, don't do this, and he still did it. And it's just like, the one person you don't want to let down just for some high fives is the person that knows you really fucking well. They're looking out for you.
Well, it's not even that she told him not to do it. She saw him on the balcony with the shirt off. She's like, hey, you're scaring me.
Right.
And then he's like, oh, yeah, watch this. And then he fucking turned into Spider-Man.
And the fucking thing is, man, fuck, that is the most painful thing to hear, dude. When, like, my sister's told me that. She's like, you fucking scary, dude.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, man, what is wrong with me?
Mm-hmm.
Alcohol is a hell of a drug, man. But I also know I have some deep-rooted issues that I have to go see therapy and stuff about. But I don't know. I'm just really projecting here. This is just Sid projecting. He may not even be like me, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I get that though, because I'm kind of like, I suppose you're right. Like we could be reading into this one moment too much, but I don't know. I feel like there's either one of two things that's going to happen. One is that he doesn't change, and two is that he goes through like a Sid adjacent type change. I keep using that word. He goes through a Sid like transformation where you realize the effect this type of stuff has on people, and then truly change that within yourself and find other things in life to enjoy other than looking cool or like doing daring things or whatever, living life to that extreme.
You only learn, again, projecting here, a lot of lessons in life when you get broken up with. And I think right here, she should break up with him to teach him a bit of a lesson.
I don't honestly. So where I land on that is like, yeah, maybe things will change if he goes through that transition. But I personally believe that that transition should not be forced upon him as much as it should just want to come from within.
From him,
So if he now granted, there's a bit of a separation there. No more fucking potentially life-threatening shit at parties is something that you might like. There's some wiggle room in terms of like someone physically, or not physically, but making you make that change. But in terms of like, oh, you know, for this guy, for this relationship to have the legs, he might need to go through a transition of not being such an adrenaline junkie. If he from within wants that, then that's fine. But if she, quote unquote, makes him do that, then again, I just feel like he should be with someone else who embraces that in him and matches that energy with him.
I don't know. You guys brought that up, and I don't agree. I never saw.
I agree so much anymore.
Well,
Can
no,
you come to your computer there, buddy?
Yeah. Do you want to like come over here, dude? Fucking guy. man.
Sorry, I was pacing a little. I went into full thought.
Yeah.
But you brought it up before though, where you were saying, "I want to be with someone that's gonna jump with me," type of thing. I don't.
Yeah,
think,
but I'm also
that's
being
not-
a douchebag.
Oh, okay. Well, my point is going to be I don't see that in my future partner, and I don't see that for this guy where there's going to be a girl on the same level as him that's going to jump with them.
Well,
You know, I think it more just has to be someone that appreciates that about you. And like to me, I think that like whoever I'm going to be with is going to be the opposite of me in a lot of ways and kind of bounce me out.
well,
And if we're both fucking crazy, then
It's fucking hot, dude.
it's fucking
well,
hot.
no, I
We'll
think there's-
fucking die together. And jump
I think
off.
I think there's a difference in that though. Like I'm not saying the girl for him is the girl who holds his hand and jumps with him. I'm saying the girl for him might still stop him from doing that, but is also the girl that says, "Oh, Andy mountain bikes and he surfs, and I fucking love that about him." Like that's cool.
Right,
as hell.
right.
Like,
Well, what sucks? Yeah, actually, that's a very good point, Kanal. Like it'd almost be better if she said, "Well, he mountain bikes and stuff, so I'd rather he do that
yeah,
Right.
right.
than this kind of stuff." That's a very interesting point. Either way, it sounds like they really need to talk about some stuff.
Agreed.
He
Yeah.
needs to want to get that version of himself a little bit better.
Yeah.
You know, it could just be a growing pain for the both of them. I think they could figure it out. They just got to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think this is the be all end all. It definitely warrants a big conversation in my opinion.
Now,
I
but
don't
do you
agree.
want?
I
Do
say
you
break
guys
up
want to
with
hear
him.
what douchebag Sid wants to say?
Of course.
Break up with him.
Let's go.
I agree with douchebag say. I honestly like. I feel like it's not worth it. Just break up with him. I feel like I'm reading into this quite a bit, maybe, but
I don't know.
it's like whatever. You guys are different. You know, this affected you that much. You wanted to puke and like it's
She
from,
fucking threw up.
at least from fucking loser. You threw up, idiot. Nah, like reading into what how he reacted to, at least like I'm making a lot of assumptions here, but it sounds like he's not like, holy fuck, like I can't believe I did that. Like I really need to change this within myself. It's more just like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that to you. Like it won't happen again. And that's like, okay, but you still have that within you.
I could totally be off base, and he could just be an adrenaline junkie. You know, I did a lot of shit for God knows how many reasons, but it was not adrenaline.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying I disagree with you, Daniel, that she should break up with him, but I am saying that it shouldn't just be, okay, we're done. It should be a conversation. And that could be the outcome, but I do think that a
Well, it
conversation.
sounds like they already had the conversation.
does it? It just sounds like that they haven't.
No, it sounds like she hasn't replied to his
Yeah,
text and
it
decided to
sounds
go
like
on
the-
Reddit instead.
Oh, okay.
Right. It sounds like they haven't really spoken, and I feel like you talk about
Okay,
it, and
speak
breaking
about
up
it
can
for
be an
sure.
outcome. Yeah, breaking up can be an
Yeah,
outcome
yeah.
of that conversation. But after 3 years, I feel like you at least discuss it, and then move
Wow,
forward.
3 years. Jeez,
Fuck, that's a long time, bro.
it's a long time.
Imagine dating for that long. That's fucking crazy, dude.
Dude, I can't, man. If I dated someone that long, I'd probably fucking jump off my balcony.
Dude, if I dated someone for that long, I'd probably be loved and accepted, and we'd probably get married.
You'd probably like choose to love that person.
Oh God, he's crying.
Yeah, wow, he looks so
He's crying.
bad. in that way.
You look like a raisin when you cry.
You ugly crier. Well, we are over an hour, and I'm very happy we got to that question, and I'm very, very happy that this concludes yet another episode.
But I have a
Yeah.
question.
I want to hear it.
I guess I'll allow it.
What is something that is legal, but
Oh,
you are
no.
too afraid or too embarrassed to Google?
I'll tell you what it was. Well, this is a while ago. I don't know if this counts, but when I got my first co-op, that was an office job. I would look up things that I was embarrassed about on. Actually, I still do this. Anything I'm embarrassed about looking up, I look on incognito, and I specifically remember I'd be looking up like, what is a fiscal year, like shit like that. It's like
That's
business
not
things.
illegal.
Oh, what's illegal?
What's illegal?
Oh no, it's what's legal. But I think that's,
I was just.
with all due respect, that's lame as fuck.
Oh, sorry. Dude, can we cut this out? I'm kind of embarrassed.
It stays. Well, Sid, do you have an answer for that? Because I don't. I think I have one still.
No, I almost exclusively look up illegal stuff.
Such as
Okay.
like off the record, obviously.
Yeah, like tax evasion and how to forget to do your taxes for a lot of years in a row and get away
How
with
to
it.
forget to do your
Sounds like
taxes.
a lot of they're just tax related, bro. Do you have an actual answer to this?
It's usually sex stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually always sex stuff. And it'll be,
Oh man.
like I'm not afraid of Googling it, but it's one of those things you don't want on your Google history, so you're always
Yeah,
gonna
I
do
just
it
don't-
incognito.
I don't want anyone to ever see that even in a brief moment or whatever, and have to explain that.
I
I don't
definitely
want to explain that.
I definitely have the reason I went oh man is because like an instance came to mind of like where I did this, and it just kind of was very hard to look back on and not smash my head through the monitor. So I guess I'll tell this, and then we're gonna swiftly end the episode with no time for a reaction, and I might honestly edit it out, but it was in grade 9, and I was invited to my first ever high school party. And
Oh,
I was-
you fucking loser.
I haven't even told to search yet.
Oh my god, this is gonna be really.
I was invited by like a girl that I had a crush on. And so then I thought guys, stop making faces, because I'm scared as it is. I thought she invited me because like she liked me or whatever. So like after I get caught, I'm saying like so much. Okay.
You're
I thought
nervous.
I thought she invited me because she had a crush.
Does she
on me.
listen to this podcast?
I hope not. We haven't talked in a while, so I would hope not. But I thought she invited me because she had a crush on me. So then at night, or like that night when I'm getting ready to go, I thought that there was like potential for something happening. So then I'd never kissed someone before, so I wanted to Google how to kiss. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening.
Okay, wait, I got an embarrassment.
That wasn't as bad as that's actually pretty
Really
that's
embarrassed.
pretty
Like I
sweet.
wanted to Google it, you know what I mean? But like I was so embarrassed at the idea of like Encore like looking at my phone and seeing it. So I went in incognito mode and I Googled it, and I watched like a 5-minute video of some dude breaking down how to have your first kiss. And then I went to the party, and yeah, we
Didn't get to practice it, I imagine.
nothing happened. Yeah, no, nothing happened.
You kissed the guy though, right? You reached out to him, the guy that made the video.
No, the guy who made the video?
Mm-hmm.
How would that work, dude?
You reach out to him. He says, "Yeah, I live in California. I'll teach
I
you
was
to
in grade
kiss."
9.
Sid, what was your one?
Yeah, what was yours, man?
So after every breakup I go through, it'll always be incognito. 10 signs it wasn't meant to be. Or
This guy's a loser!
or 15 signs they'll come back.
Or 20 signs I should stop Googling shit post breakup.
Oh, I wish I
Man,
had a good-
Daniel, come on. You can't, after those two, you can't end on what is a fiscal year
I
as
think
your
the
answer.
better question is, what are your usual suspects on incognito that aren't porn?
Fuck.
Fuck, there's so many.
We
have-
have so much porn.
Even if you have an answer for the rich, just give us, you got a top fiscal year, dude.
Dude, I'm down to like embarrass myself. I really don't like Google that much on the only thing I've been Googling on incognito is like political stuff. And not that like it's even like racy stuff I'm typing in. It's just like I just don't want that on my history.
Who won the
Daniel's like-
US election?
As a white guy, what am I allowed to say?
Did we nail it?
I'm gonna not make a joke right now.
Mine was how do I my most recent search was how do I convince two of my best friends to invite me to their podcast so I could kiss them after.
What
You're-
was the first answer to make sure you bring your recording mic to wherever you are?
So that you don't sound like a complete ass and ruin the quality of the episode when they do agree to have you on. Or no, how about this? Was the first step? Why don't I fucking just be in the United States? Huh? Why don't I just be in a different country? Was that
I
the
was
answer?
supposed to be home this weekend, catching a flight to Chicago tomorrow,
Chicago.
but I had a positive COVID test,
And
which
how
is
do you
now
feel?
negative. Because I don't have the vid. I would have had my mic.
You would have had your microphone. You would have gone home to Ontario and brought your mic. Oh no, I guess we'd be recording this on Sunday where you would still be in Ontario today, right?
That's correct. And I'd
Right.
catch a flight at 8:30 in the morning.
But instead, we were like, hey, maybe we can just wait until you're back home, and you profusely started crying, and you wouldn't allow that to happen until we recorded tonight. And you think that's fine for you to do?
It's what the advice said on Incognito.
Go ahead and send me that link there, brother. He also sent me a message at like 5 today saying, "Are you guys pottying without me?" And then the emoji of the person at the verge of tears.
You fucking exposed me, dude.
The hesitation. The hezzy.
Okay, that's officially it. That's our
Yeah, thank
time.
you.
That's our episode. Sid, thank you once again for coming on, despite all the ridiculing. I mean, we couldn't be happier to have you here. You know what I mean? And we just appreciate you taking the time. And, the floor is yours for anything else you'd like to say before we wrap and get out of here.
I'm probably not going to listen to this episode, so go fuck yourselves.
How you're on it.
Why? Yeah, you listened to your episodes like 6 times.
I forgot what happened like 5 minutes ago.
Exactly why you're going to re-listen to it. I
Jesus.
hated that. Daniel, any closing thoughts?
No, I'm just tired and drunk.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel a little bit of the fucking alcohol,
Vid?
as they say.
Okay, it's time to get out of here. Guys, thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions or anything, I am RT.podcast.
I am RT.podcast.
What? Daniel, what's our Instagram?
You guys both said it right. I am RT.
Yeah.
.podcast.
And dan.and.canal@gmail.com.
Is there?
Oh, nice.
What?
It's Dan and Kunal, but like with periods instead of spaces.
In between, yeah. Did you have the option to do it without the dots?
I mean, I could have done underscores or like dashes.
Okay, no, I'm saying
Or-
did you
Lame, though.
I'm saying did you have the option to do like none, like nothing in between, just Dan and Canal?
Sid, any closing thoughts?
Okay, wait, did you seriously? And you said dots is a better option?
And you did that? That's you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank
We're
you so
gonna
much
have
for
to
listening.
cut that out.
Thank you for listening, and we'll see you for the next episode of the I May Regret This podcast.
Peace.
Guys, thank you so much for listening to the I May Regret This podcast. We will see you next week for yet another episode. Yet another episode. Yet another episode.
Oh. This is the last time I'm here.